Montrell.
I'm Ebony.
And I'm Shakora.
And welcome to the UnapologeticallyUs podcast, where we talk about life, mental health, fitness, finances, and everything in between. Thank you guys for joining us. And if you are new here,
welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Thank you guys for coming back. As you can tell if you are watching, we are joined by a special guest. I'm excited about this guest because he is an avid listener of the podcast. He is my family. He is my cousin, brother, however you want to call it. If you ask me, he's my mom's first son before she had a son. I don't care what your brother says. He's my mama's first son. He was a bully. Him and my sister, when they found out that I came along and they could tag team me, they did it. You know, we'll talk about that a little later. But he is a husband, he is a brother, he is a son, he is a uncle. He is the author, you want to call it, of Trellie Trell the P.E, Adulthood I Hate It Here. A Southern alum, you know what I'm saying? And I will say he, along with my sister, is why I went to Southern. And I'll be nice and end it by saying, I've said it publicly before, but I do credit a lot of my successes to him and my sister because I feel like they set the path for us to follow. We are joined today by Mr. Montrell Daniel.
Come on, introduction.
I got a little nervous at first, but she ended up nice, bro. Y'all know how y'all doing. Montrell Daniel.
You know, it ended up nice. I wasn't just going to, be like that. So let's get into before we get into child listen, Montrell came with gifts. He bought us some wine from H-Town where it go down, you know what I'm saying?
My goodness.
I ain't even gonna pronounce this how it go.
It's from Messina House.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet. I think have y'all tried it yet?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so it's very sweet. I thought they'd like it. I remember last time somebody brought on here, he tried to kill them. I wasn't trying to do that this time. So I'll put that up front for y'all. That way you can see it. But now, it's a good wine, very light, very sweet, very simple.
And he came with shirts.
Oh yeah, gotta support.
Like I said, he has a blog called Adulthood I Hate It Here. So we'll let him touch on that a little more towards the end of the episode. Yes. But let's get into our first segment, Child Listen. We like to be nice and let our guests go first. So what's been up with you?
Yeah, what's up?
I guess for my child listen, I am tired.
Come on.
I just got back in town Thursday night, and then went to work Friday, and then me and my wife drove down here because we had a graduation party we going to.
Okay.
And then before that, we was in New York last weekend, so I really haven't. Yeah. So it's been business and pleasure, so it's fun, and I won't take back the experiences. But since June 1st, I've been on the go. Yeah. But that's my child listen. So when we get back home tomorrow, I will be sleeping. But I had to come down here and make sure I support my cousin and you guys. So it was only right.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Child listen for me, y'all know the usual work don't stop. But other than that, I've been hitting the gym hard, working on my discipline, working on, just going towards everything that I want to do, and starting to see a little progress, not a lot, but a little. I got a little dip in my back, you know what I'm saying? Don't make eye contact when you see me.
Don't talk to her.
Don't talk to me.
Her.
Like I said last time, talk to your mammy. Even then she ain't gonna want to talk to you. But yeah, other than that, like just seeing those progress, not just physical, seeing certain progress, like with things I've been dealing with or working towards, personally seeing progress with that, and just feeling excited because I struggled in the past, but just when I honed into it was mostly discipline was my issue. I have been reaping and seeing a lot of results in that, so I'm happy about that.
Oh no, that's right, girl.
What about you?
Well, child, listen, nothing.
I thought you were the same.
Look, my life is the same. I get up, I go to the gym, I do work, I do more work. Sometimes I be thinking about going back to the gym because that's my happy place. But But I will say that I have been incorporating, since we chilling on the challenges for June, I have been incorporating my mile outside of my regular routine, my regular workout regimen, doing a mile, running my mile, however I gotta get it.
Nice.
So yeah, child, listen.
That's good. You know, we like I say, we be out here doing the things and doing them well. So let's get into today's topic. Normally when we have a guest come, we let them choose the topic that they want to discuss, you know, to give us a little break on thinking on what to talk about, because
Clear my mind.
Jesus, you know. So I'm gonna let you kind of reel us into what you want to talk about today.
Nice. Yeah, this was a tough one for me. The topic I want to talk about stereotypes. Something I've been dealing with my whole life, from birth, basically, because people don't know, if you don't know me, people who do know, my dad's a pastor. So I've been labeled a preacher's kid since the beginning of time. So
if y'all hear me say Uncle Pastor a lot,
we got close family like that. It's very confusing to some people, but it works.
Uncle Daddy Pastor, his mama, my mama, TT, Granny, you know, it's a lot going on.
But it's always been a topic that I wanted to hit on my blog on, which thanks to my cousin calling me out a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to work on picking back up on. Hopefully this right here gets me into the groove so I can actually use some of the products that I have at the house, and it's just so much easier to type it out, but we'll talk about that later. We'll figure that out. But yeah, so basically I want to talk about stereotypes, you know, and I guess my topic I said was going to be stereotypes, never judge a book by its cover. That's how I want to look at it. And so I want to start off by basically saying,
Come on, topic.
what is a stereotype? So I looked it up. It's a mistaken ideal or belief many people have about a thing or group that is based upon how they look on the outside, which may be untrue or only partly true. That is a stereotype. And so now that I have a definition, the question I want to ask you, and I answer myself too, is like, what stereotypes have you heard about yourself growing up? It can be in your adulthood, it can be when you were a child, anything. What's a couple of stereotypes you guys heard?
Well, y'all like to call me weird because I didn't like to play with them. I wanted to be in the house. Other than that, the most, I wouldn't say it's a stereotype based on me. The only thing I could say with like first impressions of people with me is I would get that I was stuck up.
Gotcha.
Stuck up and quiet. When it's not the fact that I'm stuck up, if I don't know you, I got to figure you out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that quiet part is because I'm sitting back and being observant to see if you're somebody that I can feel comfortable being around, because I heard that after people got to know me and was like, girl, that'd be cool.
Because
baby, I thought you was. And because I do, I guess, that put togetherness about me. I've been like that all my life. Telling my coworkers, like, my mama told me I was the only child that she knew that tucked her pajamas in to go to bed. I had to have jewelry on.
That's a
weird
I had to have like everything, you know, in a row, all together, whatever. And so I think that on top of like, oh, she quiet, she off to herself. Is like, okay, she bougie, she stuck up, she don't think, which is why when we had the stuck up conversation, I was like, I didn't like that because it was a negative thing towards me. So if I had to say, it would have to be that I was quiet and I was stuck up. And then that middle child, you know, stuff of how people automatically put the middle child. I didn't feel like I was favored or favored less because I was a middle child. I just was always in my own little world. So
it's so funny that you say that, because if I'm thinking back, like when I first, you know, we had the apartment together on campus, but not so much thinking that you were stuck up. Quiet for sure. Quiet for sure. But you were always my bougie friend, like, you know. And it was later on in life that we figured out, like, I don't like y'all calling me bougie, and I'm like, dang, call me bougie, like I like that, but. From hearing why, then of course, you know, and we talked about that in an episode before, but definitely not stuck up, but I could see why, because, you know, people, even me, you know, transparency, you like, is she gonna talk to me? Is she gonna be your friend or not? Don't know. But so I could see that a little bit. For me, as it relates to being stereotyped, right? I don't know. That's a hard one for me. But if I could go back, because we talked about this before we got in front of the camera, just being someone who came to Louisiana from California, being different, I was always the, black girl trapped in the white girls, or in reverse. The white girl trapped in the black girl's body. I talked different, the accent was different, the clothes. And first of all, when I came from California to Louisiana, I didn't know a thing about a uniform. We did not wear uniforms to school. So I'm like, first of all, why y'all want to look alike? So I know that I had to hold my own.
That's a valid point, though. I didn't think about that.
Why? So cute. But okay, cool. We all gotta wear the same thing. Cool. And don't get me on why we gotta wear khaki in middle school. Okay, never mind. But
yes, Lord.
But people, of course, call me mean or a bully, right? Oh, you were mean. And, they say justified, but I say I have to hold my own. I was small. I was new. I didn't know nobody. So, yeah, people would say that I was very mean. If I refer back to, people that I went to school with, they would definitely call me the mean one. Yeah. What about you?
That's a couple of them. So if I go back to my childhood, of course I said PK. I was always told you go to church all the time. I went to church the same amount of time as all the other kids. I probably got in trouble more than all the kids in church too. Let's start by saying that. Well, sometimes Ebony got in trouble more than me, so.
No, we got in trouble together. But your punishment wasn't our punishment.
That's true. We did not have the same punishment. I'm not gonna bring up. I don't know what you're talking about. That's for another time. She triggered. We're gonna go to another time. But before I jump into my stereotype, Ebony wasn't weird. Okay, she was just different. So me and her sister, we just like to play sports 24/7.
Yeah.
Ebony would, and so that's what I knew. I never had a sister or anything, so I knew that what the girl did. Well, Ebony came along and she was the true form of a girl. She wanted to play with dolls and stuff. So I didn't know how to relate to this. Right. So she wasn't weird. She was normal. It was just weird to me. So let's just get.
Yeah, friend, you were normal.
Yeah, she was normal. But
that's true. I didn't want to play with them outside.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I had to go outside, put me under a tree.
She did.
Because I don't want to be. I don't want to be outside.
Yeah, so the P. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, the PK was one that I always got stereotyped on. From being from Booker T. If you're not from Monroe area, you'll know that Booker T is like the all black area. It's off Martin Luther King, so you do what you gotta do with that. Yeah. And so I used to always hear people say, "Oh, you from Booker T? How you read?" And I was like, "Yeah, I realize we're not dumb over there, right?" So that used to always trigger me. But I realized how to use that to my advantage when I got older, because I noticed when I get into mixed crowds, if they thought I was a threat, they would attack me. So I would go to competitions and I would play slow until the finals came out, and they'll realize, hold on, he won? And so I used that to my advantage sometimes too. And also another thing I found out as I got older, I do work at the power company in Texas. It's called Centerpoint Energy. So I notice when I'm talking to people, females in particular, whenever I tell them, I don't even say females, people our generation, maybe it had to be like early 20s, mid 20s when I did this. Whenever I let them know that I worked for a power company, they just automatically assume I was on the outside. They just couldn't fathom that I was an engineer. And so that always triggered me, but I'm like, you know what, I don't really care. You can think what you want. But I always thought that was funny too, that they automatically, we always got to be just one thing at a company. We can't just be anything else. Yeah. So those are a couple of things that I got stereotyped on. And I still do to this some point. I always hear people at work like, oh man, I didn't know you knew that. Like, why wouldn't I know that? You know, so it's just things of that nature. But stereotypes is something we always deal with.
Definitely. And as you say that, as it relates to work, I was telling Ebony, one of the stereotypes that people would, for me, is because being of our generation, for one, we look young, right? Yeah. So you tell somebody how old you are, which I try not to in my profession, but they instantly feel like you too young to do that. Yeah. You know, I can remember holding a substance abuse group one time at one of my jobs, holding a substance abuse group, anybody. could come in and do or come into the substance abuse, and I was the facilitator, the therapist, and people requesting to like, oh no, she can't help me, she's too young. Like, I got kids older than her, and I'm like, well, I got the degree, you know. But period. But it is, and then I can even remember a time like my professional profile on like the therapist aid and things like that, someone saying, oh, you should change your picture because your picture doesn't look like you old enough to help people. And I'm like, I need new pictures. I need new pictures. But look, what about those children who need to relate with someone? Or what about, like, don't count me out, I can help you, your mama, your grandmother, all them. But anyway, that made me think of that. You know, thinking that you only can be doing one thing. Oh, it's no way you're a therapist. And I'm like, I'm her.
Period.
Hello.
Period.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess the next question, y'all have anything else on that one?
Go ahead.
I guess the next one I'll talk about is, since Ebony kind of hit on it earlier, what's one thing that you didn't get stereotyped for that you should have? And now as you look back, I can start this one off. For me, I came to a realization when talking with my wife that I was bullied growing up. And to me, from watching all the TV shows and everything, a bully is somebody that took your lunch money, you know, they beat you up, they did that stuff to you. So I was like, no, I'm not a bully. I never mess with anybody. But I mess with people mentally all the time. And it's funny because I had like classmates be like, yeah, I remember I wore this one time in trail, made me not want to wear it no more. And in my head, I'm like, dang, I did that to that person.
Yeah, that's a bully.
But
that's
so it's weird because like where I come from, my family, everybody know, my brother, that's all we did was crack on each other. So his whole goal, my family whole goal, because I'm an oops child. I'm the baby, but I'm not. I'm a baby of 5, but I'm really the only child. Until Sasha came, I was basically the only child. So I had cousins who were sisters and brothers to me. So from the beginning, they always picked on me about being an oops child and also about being having older parents. Because it's funny, my parents and my wife's grandparents are the same age. And so that just shows you, the generation gap we have. So my brother, every day, that's all he did was crack on me. And my goal was to hold my own. And so that's how I grew up. And so that's what I did. So with everything I saw, when I saw an opening, it was like, I'm getting them. And I just never realized that I was built for that. Not everybody else was. So it took me, I was 27, 28, when I literally said, I was a bully. And I had to come to realization. And then I said I was going to reach out to a couple people. I was like, how they reach out to me? I apologize. But yeah.
They think I was mean to them, then I apologize.
Yeah. So that's I think that's one thing that I should have got stereotyped for, but it's just society. And one thing that I did get stereotyped to, but which I really don't think I am, was a nerd. And I was like, just knowing stuff don't make you a nerd. To me, I tell people all the time, people always be like, oh, you smart. I don't believe I'm smart. I just have an awesome memory. So everything I've done throughout life, I can figure it out, and I just have a good memory. So I was like, I thought so too, until I hit this professional engineering exam, and I had to study, and I didn't know what that was. I went through my life 20-some years without having to study. You're like, maybe I cram at Southern, but I was like, that wasn't studying to me. I had to put time in and like put the process in, and it was hard. It was hard. So I think those are two topics that I probably shouldn't have got. Well, I should have probably got tagged for. What about you?
Well, yeah. Every time I tell the story of me being adopted to people, and I was 5, so they had to be like 7 or 8, and I'm like, my sister and cousin, and did Montrell was that cousin where I was happy that he came over. And even it was so mean to me. I was happy he was coming over. And if we didn't come over there, if he didn't come to our house, we was coming to his house. And so I would be happy he was coming. But when I tell people that story about the adoption, they be like, at 8 years old, they said this to you? I was like, yes. At 8 years old, they come with this whole story about how I'm really my auntie child, and she got pregnant by a man who didn't want me, and who didn't want her or me, and she didn't have no money to take care of me. So the woman who I was calling my mom alive at this point stepped in and said, I would take her, and that's how you ended up. So it, and then I'm over here like, no, you're not, stop lying. Running to my actual mom, like, Tell them. She was like, baby, you my daughter, baby. And then even after my mom calmed me down, them two was like, you know she lying. She only send it to make you feel good.
That actually was a story that was one of the main stories that came to my head when I realized, like, yeah, you were. Yeah. But it was just all fun and games, though. And the sad part about it, we did that with our own imagination.
Yeah.
It wasn't
which
like,
takes it back to you not being smart.
Yeah.
At 8 years old, who can sit here and say, yeah, you had a baby, yeah, she got pregnant, but he didn't want you, this, and this, and she didn't have no money to take care of you. Y'all even went so far to saying, cause you know when y'all go to the mall and you be with mama and no when you be with Tony and they be like, this your daughter? She's like, and she be like, no, it's not. And then my gullible ass, she do be doing that. That had me going. But
should have been stereotyped as a bully. I understand now.
But no, but like I said, I think it was also too just like knowing the dynamics. And so like I said, even with that, I still love when Montrell come over. I still get excited when Montrell, you know, off the fact that we do have fun, but Mama was more relaxed when Montrell came over.
Yeah.
So, but we did love, even when going to his mama's house. We love, to this day, we'll go over there and sit over there all day with him and his mom if he at home.
My mama worse than me. She petty.
She is.
She petty.
Which I see, and I love her to death. But and then she's older, so it's wrestling real good in her right now. Like that brain to mouth is really gone at this point. But I love it, you know, and it's honest too. I think when you get older, you realize like people's different approach to certain things, and you understand where it comes from.
Gotcha.
So we come from a family of comedians. Yeah. Like I said,
not even trying.
Not even trying. And so when you understand the dynamic, you learn not to take certain stuff a certain way. For me, what I would say, I forgot the question, that I should have been stereotyped.
Yeah, that you wouldn't.
No, I'm thinking.
That's a hard one. You gotta look within yourself.
Yeah,
you know? Next guess, you gotta make sure you make them think.
Well, okay, so I can't. Damn. I did end up becoming a bully. I did. My little brother.
Interesting.
My little brother.
Yeah, she passed the torch.
My little brother.
Mm.
Now that I think about it, because I remember putting a pillow over his head.
Oh my goodness.
Going, you scared? You scared?
DJ, wink twice if you out there being bullied.
I'm sorry, DJ. I ain't know she was doing that to you.
Me and DJ used to butt heads so bad, and I would think it would be more so like, oh, now I got somebody else I can pick on, but then too, he took my baby shine. Because I was a baby for 5 years
so
at this point.
With that.
And then he came in and he took my shine. So I will say that I was very mean for a good little while to my brother. I love my little brother, but I definitely was that bully to him. Yeah. And even when he jumped off and fractured his foot, we were in the room together, and he jumped off the bed and fractured his foot.
I forgot about that.
Or whatever. And then DJ used to have the ugliest sounding cry, and he used to be crying. I'd be laughing because I'm like, "You sound horrible. Oh my gosh, shut up! It don't hurt that bad." But no, like,
Jesus,
yeah. I think me and DJ got to a better position. Maybe when he hit like junior high.
Maybe so. Kind of got more in common then too.
Yeah, but then he kind of hit that phase of like, you can't tell me nothing, so I kind of just let him and Mama have their little stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, if I had to say, it would definitely be that.
Dang, it's my turn.
Yep.
I still don't know.
Well, you said earlier, bully.
You did say it earlier.
Yeah, but
so you know.
I mean, look, yeah, but I feel like I did. I had to. I had to hold my own. So look, we go with that. I was. And so I'm trying to think of anything else that I may have or I wasn't stereotyped for and should have been. But Nothing comes to mind for me. Should have been, but wasn't. Somebody have to tell me.
No, because you very, you know, honest about
I'm very straightforward. Like, I'm an open book.
You still got that mean streak.
Oh,
you do.
Chill out.
You do.
She lied.
I need to scoop back.
She exactly. she always why she want to tell the people that I like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
She be on people neck.
She do.
Okay, I'm just saying though.
But you know one thing that Ebony, I don't think she said she was stereotyped for, that I would say, because I've seen her all 3 years, motherly. She's always been like that mother figure without even trying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when she was like playing with dolls, she wanted to be the teacher. She wanted to be the nurse. It was always like caring thing.
Yeah.
And then like when we had kids, like if we got older, junior high, if somebody had a baby, Ebony always had the baby.
Yeah,
without
absolutely.
So that's one thing I would, even though she probably wouldn't say she was stereotyped, she always had that instinct.
Oh no, that's absolutely true. Because of course, you know, when we were in college, I had Jaden, and we would all be somewhere.
Yeah.
And Jaden has my face, but people would still be like, "Oh, that's your daughter. What she want to eat?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm her mom. Ask me. Ask me." I'll just, go ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. That's good.
But that's been all life, all through life. Yeah.
That's good.
That's true.
Oh.
But let's see. I'm gonna start with you on this one. Have you ever stereotyped someone and been wrong? And was it a cultural thing or a society thing? And come on, let's talk on that. I know you got something, because I know I got one.
Let me tell you, it's probably a million people that I done stereotype love. I can remember going back to school, just sitting in my car, looking at people pass by like, yeah, you probably not doing this.
Yep.
Yeah, you look like you a hoe.
So you talking about people watching? That's just fun and game. That don't count. That don't count.
But you still stereotyping people because you don't know them people from.
Absolutely.
We just did that coming over here. We gotta stop that.
I be doing that while I'm with you. Got all that stuff.
No, you ain't paying for it. Are you already got food stamp? I'll be mad because I want some food stamp.
Just let me get a little bit.
Throw something over
Matter of
there.
fact, before I got here, when I left the gym this morning, there was a lady, she was in front of me with a whole buggy of stuff, or the little basket thing. And she was like, "I'm just trying to get to $25." I was like, "Well, add mine to yours."
Yeah.
What you mean you trying to get to?
We'll get you them. We'll get you them.
I had 5 things in my cart earlier and it was $35.
Man,
she
I got the $35.
Stop wasting their time telling me the price. I need this. I'm just gonna swipe.
Exactly.
Oh,
just cover the screen. Just cover the screen because this is just too much. But if I could say like something that I probably, and it's so funny that you say, because you're a pastor kid, my husband is too. I'm somewhat
adjacent.
The person who I would consider my dad or a dad like is a pastor, and we were in church. Why we gotta do 3 services?
Yeah.
Okay,
but anyway, got one out of me.
But I would say meeting my husband and finding out later that he was a pastor kid, I was like, no way.
My wife said the same thing.
No way, you're absolutely not. And he definitely is. And I'm over there like, sir, pastor's kid is supposed to be on the first row.
Yeah.
Get on the first row. Why you on the 5th row? Get on the first row.
Montrell be back with us.
Yeah. It was tired of people be like, "Oh, I thought Montrell was gonna be a pastor," and then I say something like, "Nah, I don't think he the one."
Well, they do that to my husband. Yeah. Like, he is actually now at a Mason convention.
Nice.
He and one more person asked me about pastor, and I'm like, "Look, don't be trying to make me no first lady." Look. But
you got it in you. I see you. Look at
I'm just playing.
You got to fight for Jesus when you get first lady though. You got to stop.
Can't be bullying all the people as first lady. You know, look, my mother-in-law, my husband's mom, baby, she was the most fierce first lady I ever met. Baby, you talk about blunt, she gonna take it with love.
That's married.
With all the love. Sure. So look.
That's married for sure.
So look, I think I can make it.
You'll be good.
I'll be okay.
Ooh.
If he make it.
Lord. No, when she did the welcome for, was it pastor's anniversary? I said, yep, she looking real
comfortable.
She looking real, you know, first daughter.
Oh, no.
Did she start off with the guy who was the head of my house? Did she start off with
No. They be good morning, St. Mary.
Okay.
Girl, then they made me go to that pool pit. I'm trying to get to the bottom, trying to be on the bottom. My husband stick that hand out.
Yeah.
We walk you up there.
Right,
get up there, do what you gotta do.
I said she better be up there, be looking like a pastor's daughter-in-law. For me, I've stereotyped people and been wrong at the decor shop all the time. I did it yesterday.
It's fun though, right?
In a way, but not be feeling bad when I be wrong. And then I have a bad thing of my face telling what I think before my face do, my mouth do.
We relate.
And so I know sometimes I be like, nah, yo, don't finna come in here. You don't know what you want. You gonna make me taste. We gonna want all these samples, and you ain't gonna tip. And then when they come in there and they be like, yeah, let me get up, blah 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 blah. They leave you $5. I be like, oh damn.
They knew what they want.
If you don't even know what I said to you before you open that glass.
In my head, I'll be like, oh, you just don't know what you finna come in. Oh, I definitely do that. Or I do, I give the whole conversation, you know, like you look like you just a good asshole, you know what I'm saying?
Shaking up.
Not even shaking up, like you look like you. And then the, you know, drug dealers, you a drug dealer. You smell like one, you look like one, you know. And then sometimes you be right because after you see something so wrong, you know, be like, or then the one that pull out the wild money, you really broke for real. That's your plug money. That's really your money. Like
you about to turn that in.
You about to turn that in, but you want to let me know.
Phone call
but then drug dealers do have the stereotype, and it is true. If I see 10 drug dealers in one night, one of them gonna tip. They gonna pull out all their money to give me the exact change. What is you trying to do?
They low down.
Because you give me the exact change that's not gonna impress me. Now if you drop a little 20 in there, then we got something to talk about. Then you just pull out all that money and give me 70, 75 on the dot, or give me $8 on your quarterback. You are not that dude.
She feels very strongly about that, y'all.
Because I be like, what is the point? What is the point? A big old wad of money and you want your quarterback? What is the point?
What you gonna do with that quarter?
Nothing. Or whatever. So yeah, I be stereotyping people all the time at the decor shop, and I do be wrong. And I will say from a work standpoint, being that I have been on the other side of interviews, I do notice, and I've done it too, where we stereotype people based off of just their interview. And I feel like in a way you have to go by that.
It's tough though.
But it is, because it's like
some people don't interview with them.
They don't, but they are very good workers. Like I suck at taking tests.
Yeah, me too.
But I can learn something like this. And so, and I didn't interview well neither, but I know if you give me that chance, I'm gonna show you I know what I'm talking about. And so, but yeah, and then sometimes we stereotype people and we've been right, and sometimes we stereotype people and we've been wrong.
Yep.
I'm always right.
I think for me the main stereotype I had, because until 4th grade, I always went to all black schools.
Yeah.
So I was told that all white people are racist. And so that's what I was like, oh, I gotta be careful. This person don't really care about me. And so it wasn't until I went to integrated school at Sally Humble that I realized, like, man, these people kind of cool. And then I went back to all black school, of course, for junior high and high school. And then I got to college and I kind of got integrated in some of the stuff coming to LSU. And then in the workplace, and you realize, man, these people good people. Just like you have good and good and bad black people, you got good and bad other races. So that's one stereotype that I was massively wrong on, because I used to hold my fort up. And I used to have friends tell me, like, I remember one time in college, it was this chick, my friend DT, her roommate was like allergic to a lot of stuff, but she didn't tell me she was white. And she was like, hey, Trell, I gotta work. Can't you mind going to pick up C? I was like, okay, cool. So I get to the apartment, I open the door, I see a white girl. And I like ran out, like, nah, this can't be it. Cause I didn't want to be like, oh, this dude just broke into my apartment. And so I called her, I was like, hey, what's your apartment number?
I think I'm wrong.
I said, I think I'm wrong, because I just walked in on a white girl, you know? And she's like, nah, fool, that's my friend. I ain't want to tell her because I know you're racist. And I was like, oh, snap. I'm so bad that...
I know you're racist.
I'm so bad that people think I don't hate anybody.
Absolutely.
And so that's when I realized I have like, man, you got to stop being like that. And it just came from always being around, you know. And then from the country where we at, and especially with my parents from the small countries, like they always say, keep your head on swivel, you know, they ain't for you. Yeah. But I was like, you know, they kind of cool to me, you know. So, but I was like, you gotta choose your people off of character, not by color. So that's one thing I realized throughout life. And like I got a lot of good friends who are not, you know, I got Hispanics, whites now, and we all drink. That's basically all we do now.
I think that's an environment thing too though, because you know we went to at the time predominantly white high school, and so we heard stereotypical things about like the Lincoln and MLK elementary and the John and the you know the more black elementary schools, and so it wasn't until I got to Southern where I saw that, because I went to Washington was majority white. You know, it's black now. We old block.
It's old block. Y'all got homecoming now.
It's a whole thing now.
Come to Carol though. We get live.
Yeah, it's a whole thing though. But it wasn't until I got to Southern to where I could see the discrepancies of where maybe a Washita and a Carol met, because I saw it with Southern and LSU. And it was like even like looking at your name on the paper saying that you went to, I'll never forget going to my first job, and this man asked me, he said, you went to Southern University and ain't that college?
Yeah, they don't understand.
And then like those were two separate schools.
Same thing.
And so I was like, no, that's the whole name. And so I was able to see like, okay, at these predominantly white schools, they stereotype the black schools, and then when you get there, and then too, you had, I know at Southern, like we said in our that one we did for homecoming week, where I feel like it prepared us for that discrepancy that you may face going into the workforce. Like you do have to prove yourself a little more. You do have to show like, I went to Southern, but I did learn something over.
Absolutely.
So I think that too played with the environment. It was just, and I think, to be honest, I think you got lucky with going to Sally Humble.
I did.
Because Sally Humble was more
integrated
than a Lakeshore or a Swartz was.
And you want to know what's crazy about the Sally Humble situation? They rezoned my street 4th and 5th grade year, and then they realized more black people came. They rezoned it back, but they let me still come. The principal let me and my nephew still go. So they was like, "Oh no, you ain't one of them. You can come." But I still stayed next to all my friends, and she. And
it goes to show how they still like you still. I know what Barlow looks like. And you know, some
look like home, baby. Look like
and
home.
Some of them kids, but it's just so crazy how those people stereotype those kids, and it's automatically someone can know y'all the reason for even though even when y'all kids was causing more of the ruckus than our kids was, you know, than us was. So that when you talk about them, like, oh yeah, that definitely was something that was different.
Yeah, man. So that was crazy. You know what's crazy about, you mentioned Barlow? What's crazy about it? We used to always be outside all the time. And you never I never grew up knowing like, oh man, we in the hood. We was home. Like we took care of each other. Like my mama went home. My next door neighbor was watching me, and if I went past a certain house, I would get snitched on. She had the authority to beat me down if she wanted to, and whoever was over there with me, she could beat them too. So it was just like that environment. So it's crazy when you look back, like, man, I really was in the war zone. I didn't even know it, you know. But I love what it
that part to me always seems to amaze me. Which now that I'm seeing how you thinking regarding this episode, it makes me think about why you asked that question you asked about the do you think that going to predominantly black schools held you back?
Well, because I hear people say that all the time. Like, I almost fell victim to it when I was studying for the P.E. exam because I didn't get it the first time. And I had called my parents, and let me tell you how God worked. Usually my mom always the first person to answer. Well, my dad didn't answer. And he's like, hey, what's going on, boy? I was like, nothing, man. He said, I have to test me. I didn't pass. He didn't give me a chance to swallow. He said, oh, so you think they're better than you? And I was like, wait, what? He was like, so you telling me that these other people better than you? And from that point on, I was like, no, I'm good. He said, you want to talk to mom? I said, no, Red, tell Red I'll talk to her later. If I would have talked to Red first, she probably would have been like, oh, you know. But my dad knew what I needed. So it's just weird how, at one point, I was thinking like that. 'Cause I was like, damn, I ain't get it. Everybody else getting it. Did I not get prepared? So that's why I brought it up. Do people go through that kind of mental state where, you know, because you got to fight it. You
do. That's so true. I can relate to that so much, you know, just with those tests. And of course, Southern being mostly black, but going to a high school that was more so white, but having your group of people, I guess I didn't realize that it wasn't that major to me until I got to Southern. Because coming from California, it wasn't much of the, oh, you're white, you're black. Now, granted, I used to always, my thing was people used to tell me that I was too dark skinned. You know, now we in the black girl magic era. But yeah, coming going to Southern and then having expectations, people in the same field from LSU, from Southeastern, and being like, oh well, maybe I should have went over there.
Nope.
I probably could have got something better. I would have been able to pass that test on the first rip if I would have been over there, and then having to pull yourself back in. Wait a minute, you got the same thing they got over there. Go get it.
Had to go get it. I had to study. That's the thing. They were studying. I ain't never studied a day in my life.
Gotta go get it. And so that I can relate to that so much. So no difference.
And it's crazy too about the studying part, because like I said in your introduction, you and Sasha, I credit y'all for the path that y'all set for life, because it was y'all two, then it was me. Then DJ, MJ, Madison, Jordan, all of them. But I guess, because even with Sasha wasn't a big study person.
We just never had
y'all
to.
It just clicked for y'all like that. And it kind of made me think about like those tests are probably designed like that.
Oh, they are.
Because most of our children are quick. Show me one time, two times maybe at the most, and then I got it. Whereas it may take another child a couple. Like I'ma show me, okay, and I can go and let me do it. Versus making me read all of this. Like I tell people, if I open an email and I see too many blue letters, too many blue words, I don't want to read it.
I think I got ADD for real, because like I didn't know it. If I was born in this generation, I'd be on medication. My attention span. If you can't give me those first two sentences, I'm toned out. I'm like,
better pull my attention now.
Got to.
Yeah, but same though, because even with reading books, it's like you have to catch me. Like I like my friends, my Tony books, because Tony grasped you early, and she's very good with imagery. She's very good with. I can, if I'm reading what she has on paper, I can also visualize. And so that is like, okay, I can, if I have to read, I have to be able to visualize what I'm doing. And so, but yeah, like that's crazy. That was a good. You got some more points?
No, I think that's all my points. I think from that point is, y'all do y'all thing.
That was a good topic. Good topic.
Baby, that make you think deep into who you are.
Yeah, like dang, what am I the problem?
Am I the problem?
Am I the problem?
I found out I was.
I must be the problem.
So we can wind it down. As we said in the first part of the episode, Montrell does have a blog called Adulthood I Hate It Here. He also has merch. He has one on, and he gave us some. He does have other merch that he has too. So you want to talk about a little bit about your blog, like how it came about?
I didn't realize until we was talking. From Houston, Texas. Born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana. Montrell, of course. I'm an electrical engineer. Got my P.E, so I'm a professional engineer as well. And I work in the substation department at Centerpoint Energy. I get to travel a lot, so that's one big perk about it. I love it. So that's pretty good, especially because I'm like the main guy in my company now with my group. So it's nice that they send a minority out there. So it's pretty cool. But Adulthood I Hate It Here. It's just a blog that came to me during the pandemic. It's something that I've been saying since I was like 24. Whenever I paid a bill or something, I just scream out, I hate it here. And people thought I was crazy. And then the more I kept saying it, I realized my friends started saying it. And then my wife would be messing with me and she'll be doing something. She was like, I hate it here. And so during the pandemic, we were sitting at home and I decided to like type some stuff out. And one of my close friends too, my wife and one of my close friends, Rob, and then another friend named Beware, Brittany Ware, she passed away during the pandemic. Them three was real, pivotal about getting me started. And it was easy to me because it was just writing thoughts and it was just joking around. So I used to do it like, I think every week or every other week or something like that. But it was just basically talking about different things. And so since my cousin called me out a couple of weeks ago, my mindset is to use this as something to jumpstart me because I want to basically do an audio version of the stuff I wrote down and just kind of do like a quick 5-minute video on those. So that's my plan. I'll see if I stick to it, but if she called me out the way she did, I guess I got to.
We will.
Well, I called you out because I used to read what you would put out, and then I would also make sure I comment to let you know that I read the stuff. And it would be good. And even though it was like, it wasn't long.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it short. That's my whole thing. Yeah.
But, and maybe because I knew, so I could relate to some stuff that you was talking about in the blog. I'm like, oh man, this is good.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I even bought the grade tea.
You did.
Like, I'm like, cause I said too. Like,
Yeah.
I say, being an adult is ghetto.
Yeah, it is.
Ghetto.
It is.
0 out of 10, do not recommend.
0 out of 10.
But
I do not recommend. Take me back.
Yes.
I need a time machine, whatever it is, but this is not
Yes.
it.
I feel like calling Brain and telling Brain, you
Yeah.
don't have to be my little friend no more. Put that in the child's play.
Oh, I apologize to my pops a lot. Me and him bumped heads a lot growing up. Because I was like, man, he don't know what he doing. But like everything he instilled in me, man, it's like when I go to work, it's so much easier for me when I look at other people. Like when I get up, I'm up. And he used to drag us out the bed. We had to them yard had to be mowed every Saturday. And I'm talking about even if you don't look like it need to be mowed, it needs to be mowed.
And you see how relatable some of your stuff is?
It is not just to us. Like my coworkers, they all come to me like, man, we
So
all
why?
So look,
the same.
you gotta do it.
You
I
gotta
guess-
do it at this point.
Like,
All
you're
right.
looking for it.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Y'all
I'm gonna do
comment
it.
below. Hopefully the comments working.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope it's right. But y'all comment below and tell Montrell that, hey,
Get his life
adulthood, we hate it here too.
Yeah.
And if you ever think about it, think about content creators and influencers or whatever, not saying that that's your ultimate goal with it, but most people look for relatable content.
Yeah.
So if you got relatable adulthood, everybody got something about adulthood that we hate.
That's
Bills,
true.
growing up in your body not, doing what it's supposed to do.
Taxes.
Oh
They
my
don't,
God.
they don't tell you when you get their
Taxes.
job, the amount they tell you making, what you
Buying a
bring
home.
home. Oh, I'm gonna do a video on that one because that was a stressful process. I love it. I love my home, but the process is stressful.
Healthcare insurance.
Whew.
Yeah, but just deciding what insurance to pick. Career moves.
Career
pivoting.
moves.
Realizing
I hate it
adulthood too is a lot of pivoting.
Yes.
And then it's on you to pivot.
Having
When your parents
having
had
real
to.
conversations with your parents.
Yes.
Like when my mom had, of course, my mom survived cancer, but
Yep.
So when she was going through that, to her to tell me that, I'm like, nah, you not, you red, you tough.
Yeah.
And so having to deal with that, I'm like, why you telling me this though?
Right.
I'm used to not hearing these conversations.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that you got to get used to. So it's just adulting is hard, but it's fun.
It
though.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
remember I cried like a little baby. Y'all know, like everybody say red, Montrell is red, baby, but I'm the baby. Nate is Jordan, then me.
That's true. So since you know, who is Ebony? I mean not Ebony. Who's my mom's favorite?
Jordan.
No, I'm talking about the
Jordan,
kids.
you.
Who's my dad's favorite?
Michelle.
That's what I told her. She claimed it was me.
No.
She was like, it's.
You might be like a strong second now,
Okay.
but like it's always been Michelle.
It's always been Michelle.
We
That's what I
always
said.
came to Michelle. But you was always your mama. And I think that's because
We got similar personalities too.
y'all do.
Yeah.
And by her being so much older and you being so much younger, maybe she spent more time with you.
We
than she
did.
with the others.
So that's one thing me and Big Mike have in common.
Yeah.
Because we were the only two kids who had that a long time with the parents.
Yeah.
And that's funny because we 18 years apart, but he was the first before my sister came, and I was the last, and they was at the house. So we had that only child relationship with our parents. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yep.
So yeah, y'all check out Montrell's blog. You want to tell them where to find you on the Instagram?
On the grams. So Rose City Trail, ROECITY TRELL. That is my personal. And then my blog is kind of long, but it's Trellie Trell _ the _PE hates A-hood. So that's basically Trellie Trell the P.E hates adulthood.
And we will have that below.
Yeah, we will.
So,
And I know people always ask me, I'm sorry, I know people always ask me, how you come up with that name? Well, Trellie Trell is something that my brother always called me.
Yep.
He was just always like, hey, what up, Trellie Trell? And then PE is professional engineer, so I kind of combine both of my what you call.
I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, professional engineer.
Look,
Yeah.
awesome.
So I kind of combined both of my worlds together, so I thought it was pretty cool.
That's good.
And then I have merch, as you heard. I gave them, so we almost have all my shirts. I got a gray Jaguar, I got the black Bulldog, and then the two shirts that the ladies have. But if you want to, on my page, you can click on it, and I have a link tree. All that stuff is on there.
Awesome.
Yeah, y'all check him out. And then if y'all be watching us and y'all go and check him out, y'all let him know like, hey, good job, my boy. Because when you are doing this, feedback and comments
go a long way.
do go a long way.
Right.
because after a while you do get discouraged and start feeling like, well, what am I doing this for?
Right.
So especially if it's, you know, people that I know that's coming up and encouraging, I do try to, even if I'm just putting like a laughing emoji or something, I at least want to come into it, you know, hey, I watched this one, and then two, you know, especially if it's good, I'm gonna let you know if it was good. Or whatever. And that's one thing that I can say that Montrell has done, because there were times I'd be like, bro, I don't know where this podcast is going.
Yeah.
And he'll take me like, hey, folk, I just watched blah, blah, blah. Man, y'all doing the thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll go home. We was at home for Papa Jake's funeral.
Yeah.
He was like, man, y'all inspiring me to get back on it. And then I told him, okay. Then I ain't seen nothing, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to go and call my boy out. Since he watching,
She called me out,
let him know, like,
indeed.
you got something going. So, you know, check him out. Like I said, it's good. And I ain't saying this because that's my family. Like, he did have real good posts when he was doing his blog posts frequently. So y'all check him out.
I'm gonna do better. I'm trying to do better.
Do better.
But yeah, y'all doing good though. I was talking to my sister about y'all. For y'all to consistently do it every Friday. When I was doing the typing, it was easy, but the videoing, and that's hard. So the dedication y'all doing with the consistency, that's good. The best ones to me, and I told Ebony about this, the best ones to me are the ones when y'all don't want to do it, and y'all can tell y'all pushing through. Because I'm watching y'all I'm serious, I'm watching y'all as it go through, and y'all getting life. So this is, I don't know if y'all paying attention, but this is what's keeping y'all going too. You know what I'm saying? It's that. So it's good to see that.
We're not good at hiding, because there was some days I've been like, oh my God.
And you can see it, and then all of a sudden it's like a light switch, and y'all be like, okay. It could be the wine y'all had that day. I don't know, but I can definitely see it. But,
I've heard that from you, and I heard Suge say that his favorite episode, which of course was a lot of people's favorite episode was Never Have I Ever.
Oh yeah, that was
because
good.
he said y'all were lit, but he said y'all, it's like y'all got a little more vulnerable.
But y'all were comfortable too. So I think sometimes y'all be kind of tense. Y'all was just like, you was just like, it's whatever.
Baby, if y'all could have saw those cutouts.
Man, what? But
stuff we cut out.
Listen,
it's the cutouts.
We hardly ever call each other when we editing, but we had to. Okay, so when you cut right here, when you pick back up,
when you picking back up, because I know you want me to take out that you said.
Yeah. Oh, then if I got it here, Shakur, sorry about this mark right here. You said this, and I took that out. So I just want you to know, and I picked up right here. Yeah. Okay, it's coming back now. Why did I say that? I don't even know why I said it, but you know what? So
take it out.
But yeah, so thank you guys for joining us today.
I wind down, they did not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Just so we're clear.
I'm new to this, I apologize.
Just so we're clear.
I had to slow up because I didn't know how much longer we was gonna go, and I'm not gonna lie, that wine is really good.
It's good.
So if y'all are in the Houston area or passing the Houston area,
pick us up about
that too. You know, we take gifts. But definitely go try them out. If you have any questions, topic suggestions. Ooh, do it now. Feel free.
Sing a home.
Feel free.
If you want to know if the wine is kicking in, just listen to the end.
Cause we be butchering that email. I ain't even lying. Hold on before we finish. One time I said, why the hell we picked these names?
It's the tongue twister for sure.
It was cute. It was cute until we gotta say it.
Yeah. I be acting like my dad when I be trying to say, this is their blog.
Just let me type for it.
Feel free to email us at unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate us on all podcast platforms. And all minds clear?
All minds clear.
Until the next episode. Bye, y'all.
Bye.